It's been a long time. I haven't reviewed an episode in over 2 months, so I won't lie, I'm a little bit rusty right now. Between my trip to Japan, getting sick after that trip, having a very busy week at work, and also just having to finish Skyward Sword, I haven't had the time or the energy to not just sit down and write and record a video, but edit it.
Hey, you edit that video? Yeah, I edited it.
And I kind of still don't have the time, so let me just quickly talk to you about Vinland Saga episode 17, Way Home. Surprisingly, this episode only covers about one chapter, chapter 86, which is wild to me because about a third of the way through I was like, this is a lot. We start the episode off with Thorfinn versus Snake, the fight of the century, something I've been waiting for since Thorfinn lost his ear. And no, not anticipated because I wanted to see Snake die or anything. I've actually grown quite fond of the freeloader over this season. It's because I've kind of just wanted to see how Thorfinn stacks up after all this time. And you know what? I was fully surprised. Thorfinn pulled out some legit martial arts this scene, and it kind of reminded me of that one training scene in Jujutsu Kaisen 0 between Maki and Yuta. See, I was under the impression that he was just a skilled daggersman. And speaking of blades, did anyone feel like Snake's sword swings sounded like eagles, or was that just me? We also got just a little bit of Snake's past this episode, which I'm grateful for because it was just enough for me to, at least find an article or look into it a little bit. Snake is a former warrior of Miklagard, which translates to Great City, and is now known as Istanbul. Funny enough, the Vikings even being able to make it to the city during this time kind of speaks to their hunger for exploration and just that need to keep moving forward. Unfortunately, Snake gets the literal turnaround that he needs during this battle to put the third and final wound in Gardar. To Snake's surprise, Gardar still has something left in the tank to put him down, and I really do hope that's temporary. I really wanted to use this image for the thumbnail, but Snake's neck turn in the anime kind of ruined it for me. And now that I'm thinking about it, I hope that's not foreshadowing. I would really like to see more of Snake. We get to see plenty of, or I guess the second half of Arnheid and Gardar's life together before they were both taken in as slaves. This is now the second time Arnheid has spoken up to Snake, which is supposed to probably be the scariest dude on this farm aside from Ketiel himself. So shout out to her. This woman has spent the last 24 to 48 hours just watching her husband be slowly tortured to death. This must be what it feels like to sit through the Passion of the Christ. Kind of would have been nice to spare Gardar here, seeing as though Ketiel's on his way with like a 5-star wanted level anytime soon. That could be any moment, any hour, any day. These guys kind of need every freak of nature that they can get. I think I'll be glad with whatever comes next though, because this show can kind of toss me wherever the hell it wants, and I'll trust the writing to bring me back anyway. I mean, just look at this death scene. It's like Yukimura and Mappa collabed to just play catch with my heart. Firstly, as he's fading on the wagon, we get a more comprehensive flashback that gives us a look into Gardar's side. And because this is Vinland Saga, it's not all happy. In one of the last scenes, Gardar shows regret for his decision to go out into battle after seeing the look on Arnheid's face. Based on the liberties that Vinland likes to take when presenting death, I'd like to say that this isn't Gardar somehow being able to look back at Arnheid's face in this scene. It's him looking up at her now and maybe remembering, this is how she looked when I said I'd go to war or something like that. Which is kind of fire, not gonna lie. Gardar's return ties back into the engraven chant we heard at the beginning of the season, which serves as both a foreshadow for the type of story we continue to hear and a great transition.
They're the same picture.
And it's not the only great transition we got this episode. Askeladd had a line last episode, which was basically like, everyone kind of has their own reason to fight here. And Gardar can kind of be added to the list of people he was referring to here. Because Gardar's not just some musclehead Viking who's fighting to fight here. He's a father and a husband who's fighting to protect his life. The fact that Farmland Saga here has just been this whole secret lead up to the story of Arnheid and Gardar is just genius. Gardar has one line while looking at his newborn son Hjalti here, and it goes, I will continue fighting for you so that you can take pride in my honor. This is potentially tied for the most justified reason to fight in this show. And it's kind of heartstrings because he can see his son at the very end the way that he wanted to see him, right? Untainted by the world around him. But it's very upsetting because Yash showed the kid's feet hanging, and I was like, oh, no way is at the end of all of this, he gonna find his son hanging from a tree. Not cool, Mappa. Also not cool, but at least understandable, was having to show Gardar cowering in fear. Like, seeing a man change this drastically is one thing, but seeing a father and a husband breaking down this way is always like heartbreaking. I'm also super appreciative of the fact that he gets to spend his last moments with his wife at least. And as the final shot sets in, the horses approach their wagon. That's a little too ambiguous for my little heart right now, but it's a great shot nonetheless. And it finally connects us back to the shot we have in the opening. I've seen this shot in 3 different anime now. I got Vinland, Chainsaw Man, and Death Note. I mentioned this in my Chainsaw Man review, but they're all based off of the same sculpture called the Pieta, or Piet. I still have no idea. Hopefully Arnheid can make it out of the situation. What else can I say except another amazing episode from an amazing show? And we're not even at the climax yet. Thorfinn still has a reunion with Leif and possibly even Canute. Not to end on a sour note, but we kind of have 2 to 4 fathers who died or are dying while trying to teach their son how to put down the sword. It's kind of like a Viking curse in a way where you have this enormous power to draw from if you do choose to use it, but if you choose not to use it, you're penalized for it. In closing, put some respect on Yukimura's name. And that's all I got today. So it's gonna take me forever to edit this because I am very rusty. Holy shit. Yeah, thanks for watching. Be safe. Bye.